Welcome. This is David Bowles, Human Meme. Today's topic, the Playhouse. May be the devil, and the devil hath power, to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps, out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. William Shakespeare, Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. Well, there is a lovely place in many towns, small towns, medium towns, big towns, across all of America, where the people gather to celebrate the victory and the defeat of the human spirit. No, not the church. Nope, not the workplace. Never the school. No, the place where people gather to sing hallelujah to the sun and sky, and goodnight Irene to the moon and the stars, is the local community theater, the Playhouse. Oh, the Playhouse is the people's house. The Playhouse is where people go to come together, to celebrate their vision, and to honor the feeling for humanity and their love for others around them. Yes, the theater can change the stars and move the sky. And the powerful pull of the community theater to fill the empty space with something humanly meaningful is a bilateral celebration that is open to everyone. All are welcome. You get yourself there, to the Playhouse, and you're in, pretty much. At least, that's the way it's supposed to work. Oh, and sure, there are power plays in the Playhouse. Some people are more favored over others in the Playhouse because of their talent level or family income. But everyone who wants to work and who wants to participate can, pretty much, and they can because there's always something that needs to be done, or built, or painted, or counted, or calculated. The theater is much more than just a performance. The theater is a coming together of intellect and talent. Now, the economics of the Playhouse is especially bright and pleasing. The Playhouse staff are paid through donations and gifts and grants and ticket sales. And the idea is they are supposed to be the professionals leading the local amateur talent. And the amateur talent is driven by ego and by a want to belong. You don't do community theater for the goodness of humankind. No, you do community theater because you want attention and applause and acknowledgement. And that's also why you volunteer to work on set in costumes and lighting or whatever else. Because you too want to see your name in the playbill, to be recognized for your talent and your craftsmanship. You want more than just a participation trophy. You want to be admired and adored. My friend, Mike Nichols, yes, that superstar performer Mike Nichols, producer, director, everything, super talented Mike Nichols of Broadway and Hollywood fame. And hey, look him up. Mike as in Mike. Nichols as in Nichols. So Mike Nichols told me once in New York City that every actor arriving in New York City is there for one thing and one thing only: to prove their parents wrong. Yes, Mike Nichols also told me, all actors are broken, and they are all wounded in some dramatic, inseparable way that can never really be healed. but starring on Broadway is a good start. And Mike Nichols was not being insulting or cruel. He was experienced. He was an actor. He was merely making an observation of a confirmed truth. Well, anyway, back to the Playhouse. The old saying always holds true. You either make a killing in the theater or you starve. And the Playhouse is really no different than Broadway in terms of starving. Your local playhouse is the epicenter of earning nothing for a lot of your something. For many people, that's okay. The community theater, the theater community, is the only place of belonging they feel will have them. And so they donate their time and money and blood and mind to put on a show. Do a show. Fill the empty space. And win the accolades and adoration of those in the audience who pay good money to see them perform. Because community theater is volunteer and costs money, the Playhouse is usually populated by people who are connected to money. Yes, believe it or not everyone can afford the Playhouse. And so there are certain folk who can afford to donate their evenings and weekends to the spectacle of performance. And the Playhouse is usually built and located in a higher economic neighborhood for both donation support and for easier access to the acting pool that can afford to perform for free. And the less you have to travel to get there, to be there at the Playhouse for 3-hour rehearsals every night, well, the easier it is for you to afford to be able to donate your time and temperature. Now, yes, if you know me, I did a lot of community theater growing up in the Midwest. At that time, the Playhouse was the only game in town if you were young and of a certain age and you were not yet old enough to drive. And you had to beg rides to and from rehearsal, because just getting there and back home was not easy and was never cheap. The ride to the theater, into the richy-rich part of town, from my blue-collar, Goodyear working, Brunswick rolling, Cushman riding, Kawasaki kicking neighborhood, took a good 30 minutes one way. Leave for the Playhouse, rehearsal 6 p.m., get home 10:30 p.m. when rehearsal and the trip back was over. And yeah, it was an hour round trip just in travel time alone. That was a lot of gasoline spent and a lot of fast food dinners and midnight snacks noshed in the car over the years. And I performed in maybe 10 shows on the main stage, Black Box Theater, children's stage, over a 4-year period of time. And then, just as fast as it all came together, you're done. And you're out of the Playhouse cyclorama forever. When you began to drive a car, and when you started to take school more seriously, you don't get a lot of homework done at night when you're at rehearsal. And yes, the times change. And you either change with them or you get left behind. And once the community theater leaves you behind, with the expectation and suspension of disbelief, you begin to wonder what was lost of you in all those volunteer years of one-way, purely transactional rehearsals and performances. You give up your entire social life for a little bit of glory, while the paid Playhouse staff get money to do what all the volunteers do for free. But hey, if you live in a small town, and if you're an actor, a wannabe actor, you may not have a lot of choices but to donate yourself to the whims of others. And I have a lot of friends who became career performers in Playhouse theater for many years in their adult lives. some appearing in 25 plays and musicals or more. That's about a 5-6 year span of doing nothing but show after show every night of the week, for nothing more but applause and maybe a mention in a local newspaper review, and still no paycheck. So the Playhouse may be a good training ground for the amateur wannabe. You can become a seasoned and experienced performer or crew member with little additional cost to you, other than making sure you show up each night. You can learn to dance and sing and build things, all from other volunteers. And you may even feel a part of something bigger than yourself, and that can be an important building block to a young and yearning ego. Yes, the Playhouse is the local house, the third place, your home away from home, your real home. You are home. Home again. Community theater bridges differences and builds alliances, because you are always ready but never prepared for opening night. But deadlines are made for the doing, and the spotlight awaits. Curtain up, lights up, then always the blackout. And then the night never ends until the next dawning, when you turn over to turn out, to do it all over again. Thank you for listening. Be a Human meme.